Hi Year 12. Just going to do a little bit of a visual deconstruction of Sean Tan's The Red Tree. Now this is a picture book that we're using as a related text for Module C, Text and Society Exploring Transitions. So I've chosen this text because it really links quite effectively with Billy Elliot, and there's some great similarities that you can draw between the two. So basically it's a story about a girl who experiences, depression and anxiety and loneliness, and about her journey towards self-discovery, so much like Billy Elliot. What you'll notice throughout the book is we've got this red leaf here. Now it's actually featured as a motif, which means that it's repeated throughout the text. We're going to talk about the meaning at the end because it becomes clear then. So let's start at the beginning. So the tone of this book is established in the atmosphere on the first page. Sometimes the day begins with nothing to look forward to. So instantly we have this bleak, kind of depressing image of a girl. You can tell through her body language she looks quite defeated and upset. And we have our first featuring of the red leaf here. And things go from bad to worse. So obviously the leaves are symbolic of her mind being overwhelmed and feeling like she can't sort of escape. So the first key page I really wanted to talk about was this one, Darkness Overcomes You. So in this image, we've got a lot of visual techniques at play. So we've got the salient image, which is the focal point, which is this gigantic fish. Now, as you can see, it's above her head, taking away her light, so definitely the darkness overcomes you. And we can make a link here with Billy Elliot when he's doing his angry dance, and those walls that kind of are symbolic of his entrapment and that he can't escape society. So again, she feels overcome or overwhelmed with sadness, as symbolized by her body language. So in this scene, you could talk about the salient image of the fish. You could talk about the use of low lighting and shadows there. And also that verb overcomes you suggests that depression is something that you can't sort of escape from. Another key page, which I think is really important to talk about, is this one. The world is a death machine. Now, if you actually look at the image of this death machine, it's filmed at a low angle, which means the camera's down beneath it, looking up. Now, what that does, it serves to make this death machine really quite menacing and overbearing, okay? And we've got, obviously, the persona in the middle. And we have this kind of symbolic light bulb, which kind of represents an original idea or a thought. But as you can see, she has to keep it locked away because society is not interested. It's a death machine. It speaks at you and tells you what to be, but doesn't listen to your ideas or who you want to be. This is emphasized through the costuming of everyone in the background. They're all wearing the same thing, which represents that conformity to society and her wanting to break out, but not being able to or not being listened to. This is quite a good scene. And then all your troubles come at once. So this is kind of represents that turbulent fight between Billy and his brother and dad and dance teacher. So he's kind of really confronted there, and it's that turning point where they kind of, try to make him dance, or the dance teacher tells him not to. So he feels torn, and he feels like his mind would be, and his heart would be kind of this turbulent wave of emotions. This page is a really important one, or who you are meant to be. Now, as you can see, the word who is bigger and larger in size than the rest. So that kind of poses that question, who? It's like a question of who you're meant to be. Now, we've got the persona here drawing a picture of herself, which kind of represents her drawing her ideal self, or how the world perceives she should be. But as you can see, the way that she draws herself, she's only a shell of her former self. Okay, so even though she's trying to represent someone that people would want her to be, it's barely anything. It's a whisper of who she was. So a really interesting scene there. And same with Billy Elliot. He's meant to be this boy that's masculine and plays rugby or boxes, but yet he's into ballet, which is something that he's not meant to be in his society. Which takes us to the catharsis, or kind of the climax of the book, and the day seems to end the way it began. Now, we actually have a cyclical structure going on here. Cyclical means that the story comes around full circle and it ends the way it began. So as we know, the book began with her in her bedroom, with the day that nothing looks forward to, and it ends here as well. So with this text, the day seems to end the way it began, we sort of feel that the ending would be quite bleak. However, there is a tonal shift on this page through the text, but suddenly there it is right in front of you, bright and vivid, quietly waiting. Now these adjectives, bright and vivid, represent that excitement and that hope, as symbolised by this red leaf, which is featured as a motif on every page. Now the persona is suddenly aware of this thing that has been in front of her the whole time, but she's chosen to ignore it. So this might be representative of the good things that actually exist for her, but she's never been acutely aware of perhaps her potential before. So through that use of lighting here, it illuminates this beautiful red leaf and the resolution of the story, just as you imagined it would be. So obviously the atmosphere of the book has gone from bleak and depressing to now hopeful and joyful, as you can tell with the character who's smiling. Her body language is more relaxed. We've got the use of light illuminating this beautiful tree, which actually represents her potential and who she is truly meant to be. And this page can actually be compared with Billy's final dance in Swan Lake, where he does that giant leap and he's, completely self-expressive at the end in his angelic kind of beauty, and he becomes who he was truly meant to be. So whether this character is there yet or whether they're only now truly realising their potential is definitely open for discussion. So I really hope this has helped you in your analysis of the red tree. Thank you.